This Mk2 Golf was the first car ever to feature on my channel, and unfortunately it's time to say goodbye to it. I bought it about 6 years ago for my wife. It was her first classic car and she's absolutely loved it, and it was actually her daily driver for quite some time. It's proven to be a very reliable car, and I've always loved Mk2 Golfs, and it turns out so does she. The reason we decided to sell it is because it's just not getting the use anymore. I gave my wife the Toyota Auris that I was using as a daily, so she's using that for dropping the kids in and out of school and for whatever she needs it for. And when she decides to drive a classic car, she now has the Mazda MX-5, which has always been one of her dream cars, and one that I was fortunate enough to be able to buy her for her 40th birthday. So she uses that now when she's not using the Auris, and it just means that the Golf is just not getting that use. Now, the big issue with the Golf not getting more use is actually because of the fact that it's a 1.6 carburetted engine with an automatic gearbox. So you can imagine what the fuel economy is like in it. Not the best, now, to tell you the truth. That said, it's a fabulous little car to drive. Even with the automatic gearbox, it's just an absolute joy to be behind the wheel of. It's a 3-speed automatic. It doesn't have a lock on the torque converter, so it's a fairly basic automatic gearbox, it has to be said. But it works really well. It shifts very, very smoothly, and it pulls along nicely through the gears. And because of the fact that you obviously do have that control where you can stick it into 2 or 1, you can do some manual shifting in it if you want to. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that it seems to spend more of its time with the fuel gauge down near the bottom. And to be honest with you, it will crucify you. I mean, it does about 25 to the gallon. It's about as much as you can expect out of it. But as I said, I've always loved Mk2 Golfs. If I was getting another one, and I probably will in the future, they kind of do get into your skin a little bit, I'd probably buy a GTI. I've always wanted a GTI, I've never had one. My first car was a Mk2 Golf, a 1.3 3-door, and that managed to survive some serious abuse, even if I did go through 2 gearboxes in the time I had it. Yeah, I was a bit of a boy racer when I was in my teens, but still though, you know, look, I am a petrol head, I still am, so. But I love driving this car as well, and you know what, I will miss it, and so will my wife. We've had plenty of good trips in it and everything as well. Sometimes we bring it down the country, and you know, it would be a joy to drive. The 1.6 engine is 75 horsepower, but in a car as light as this, that feels like quite a lot, and it does like to spin up every so often. Of course, that doesn't do much for the fuel economy, but so what? It's only a bit of petrol. Now, if we were keeping this car, one of the things we would do is replace the headliner in it, and to be honest with that, other than that, it doesn't need anything else doing to it. It's a great little car. I'm only after putting 4 new tyres on it and a new battery. I changed the fuel pump, I did some welding on it, and you know, it's had what it needed. Lower wishbones on the front. It's been serviced any time it needed. I even did the gearbox oil, which was great fun, to tell you the truth, but yeah, only because of the fact that one of the bolts that hold the pan on actually broke off in the gearbox. So that was enjoyable. I really enjoyed that one. But yeah, oh yeah, and it probably could do with a set of rear drums, but they're still hanging in there. There's still plenty of meat left on them, but as I said, if I was keeping it, that's what I'd be doing. But yeah, of course, although this was the first car ever to feature on the channel, it's certainly not going to be the last, as I'm sure you well know. I've got plenty of other things on the go. We still have a lot to do on that Mazda MX-5 that I showed you. I have to try and get together a lot of the bits that have just gone missing. Like, I think the guys who worked on it before, every time they took a part off, they just fecked it over their shoulder. So it's proving quite difficult to get all the bits together. But I'm getting there with it, and I have another car waiting in the wings now that needs work as well. So yeah, that's going to be coming up soon. But yeah, look, I hope you'll stay with me along the way. And as I said, who knows? There may be another Mk2 Golf along the way, or even a Mk1 Cabriolet, which would be nice. Actually, I'm not saying I actually have one there, but that'd be a nice car. White Mk1 Golf GTI Cabriolet. That'd be a lovely car now. Maybe someday. Anyway, right, please hit the subscribe button before you go if you haven't already, folks, and I will see you in a future video. Thanks for watching.